Welcome to It's All About You, a program that keeps you connected to all the exciting events and services the City of Urbana has to offer. I'm your host, Natalie KennyMarquez. On today's show, we'll talk with Brandon Boys about new businesses within the City of Urbana, receive an update on the Boneyard Creek Improvement Project from Brad Bennett, and learn about the great summer programming at Urbana Park District. We'll also talk with Urbana School District Number 116 Superintendent Dr. Don Owen, but first, I'm joined by Cynthia Chandler. Hi, Cynthia. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and especially when we can talk about wine.
Yeah, it's kind of a favorite subject of a lot of people.
Yes, and I think that that's a good thing because it sounds like there will be a new festival happening in downtown next month, or in June. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. It's the Uncork Urbana Wine Festival. It will take place on June 14th from 1 p.m. till 9 p.m. At the corners of Race and Main, and it's pretty exciting.
And that's a Saturday, right?
That is a Saturday, yes.
Fantastic. And it sounds like there's a lot of vineyards participating in the event. Can you tell us a little bit about those vineyards?
Sure. We're partnering with the Illinois Grape Growers and Vintners Association. They are coordinating the vineyards for us, so we'll have somewhere between 10 and 15 vineyards. Wow. So you'll have, a variety of tastes from around Illinois.
That's fantastic. And besides the vineyards, there's some other activities happening at the wine festival.
Sure. That afternoon from 4:30 until 8 p.m., Common Ground Food Co-op will be there, and they will be doing kind of offering sample food pairings. Ooh. And cooking demonstrations, so that you'll have a little bit of a flavor to go with the wine. And in addition to that, we've got musical entertainment throughout the day. 5 different local artists will be performing throughout the day.
That's fantastic. So it sounds like there's a lot going on and a lot of details. Is there somewhere where we can go to learn more about the event?
Sure. You can find information on our website, urbanabusiness.com, or we have a Facebook page dedicated to the wine festival, Uncork Urbana.
Excellent. I know I follow it on Facebook, the Uncork Urbana page, and have noticed a lot of updates come up, so very excited about that and hoping that we have lovely weather to go with the wine selection.
Yes, definitely. One thing to note, it is for attendees age 21 and over.
Good to know.
There is a $10 fee to enter. With that $10, you get a souvenir wine glass and 5 tasting tickets. So you can use those tasting tickets at any of the vineyards, and additional tasting tickets can also be purchased.
Good to know. I was going to say if there's more than 5 different types of wine someone would like to try, they can buy more tickets.
Yes.
Great. And is this something that you have to buy the tickets for in advance, or can you buy the tickets there?
Either way. You can buy tickets in advance through IllinoisWine.com, or you can buy them at the time you arrive.
Excellent. So is there other things that you want to talk about happening at the Urbana Business Association this summer?
Well, of course, we are deep in the planning for the Sweet Corn Festival.
Oh, yeah.
We're not ready to release the music lineup yet, but a lot of exciting plans and some potential changes in store. So I think, it's just some exciting things happening with Sweet Corn. And then coming up at the end of May, we have an Urbana Blender. We'll have a swim party at the Crystal Lake Aquatic Center in early June. Okay. So just some fun things happening throughout the summer.
And we can go to your website to get all the details on these activities.
Yes.
Fantastic. Maybe you can come back on It's All About You to talk about who's going to be the music lineup at Sweet Corn.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea.
Maybe even the mascot for Sweet Corn can join us.
We can certainly arrange for Corny to come as well.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
He loves to get out.
I think I have seen that before. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Cynthia, for joining us today, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you about the great things happening over at the Urbana Business Association.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Above all, predictability is the key to bicycle safety. Bicyclists should ride in a straight line. Do not weave in and out of parked cars, and do not move into turn lanes at intersections if the intended path is to continue straight. Drive your bicycle as you would a car. Following the rules of the road is predictable and does not leave motorists guessing a bicyclist's next move.
Welcome back to It's All About You. Now joining us is Brandon Boyes, Economic Development Coordinator for the City of Urbana. Hi, Brandon.
Hello, Natalie.
It's always a pleasure to sit down and chat with you, and I know we've had an opportunity to work together many times, but for those out there that don't know, can you tell us a little bit about the role that you play in community development here at the City of Urbana?
Sure. We do a lot of business outreach. We meet with business owners throughout the city. We've been spending a lot of time in downtown lately. We administer business grants and incentive programs, both for businesses starting up as well as for construction projects or redevelopment of existing sites or even renovations of existing buildings. We help businesses find sites to rent or to buy, and we also will provide demographic and traffic data for any developer that's looking to locate a project in Urbana.
And I can see, and I know others have, that there's been a lot of new businesses popping up, whether it's downtown Urbana or just in Urbana in general, and I take it that a lot of these businesses have taken advantage of the business opening grants and business redevelopment or development grants. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those businesses that have opened recently in Urbana?
Sure, yeah. The incentive programs are offered through our TIF districts, that's tax increment finance districts. And like I said, they're for both renovation of existing buildings as well as, which is necessary often to get a business or a space ready for a business to go in. And then we also offer incentives for new businesses. We have a business development incentive and a business opening grant. And one is tied to performing some business planning and signing a lease, committing to the space and doing some leasehold improvements. And the other is kind of a celebration for getting there, getting your business open. And again, that's for properties in the TIF district, and those replace some of the rent subsidies we used to have. So there's been a lot of activity in downtown Urbana. In the last year, there's been about 25 new businesses in downtown Urbana alone. There are more if you go outside of downtown. Most of those have made use of our grant programs in one form or another. 10 of those businesses are new creative startups. I think almost all of those are startups. We have a new co-working space called CoLab in downtown, and that has a number of 1 or 2 person startup businesses, including designers, an illustrator, an art studio, man, the list just goes on. There's a lot of interesting folks in there, marketing, videographer, and they often collaborate on projects as well as sort of sharing working space. Very
creative space.
Yeah, it's a very dynamic creative space. And we're actually going to have a ribbon cutting this Thursday for Personify. They're a startup, but they're of a much larger scale. They started off in the Research Park and Enterprise Works and sort of graduated out of the Research Park into our downtown, so we're very excited to have them as well. And they have offices in Chicago and Vietnam as well, so they're growing.
And now Urbana.
And now Urbana, yeah. And there's 2 other creative startups on the way as well, which I can't really talk about just yet, but there's 8 new restaurants and bars in the last year, with 1 on the way. The most recent restaurant to open is Masita Grill, and that's a Korean barbecue. That's on Ray Street, almost across from the Courier Cafe. And you can actually do grilling at the table there.
Sounds excellent.
Yeah, it's very exciting. One of the more popular new offerings in the last year is a butcher shop, and that's become kind of a destination business because the Urbana Butcher Shop offers a lot of meats from regional and local farms as well. Right. The one that's in the works is Dancing Dog Eatery and Juicery, and that'll be a vegan restaurant. It's currently under renovations, and it's next to Mirabelle Bakery, right on Main Street. The list goes on.
The list goes on. Well, it sounds, I mean, every few weeks we get an email that there's a new ribbon cutting for a new business, and it's so exciting to see this flurry of activity not only in downtown but across Urbana. So if there are business owners or people in the community that would like to learn more about how they can open a business in Urbana or expand their Urbana business, where can they go to find this information?
They can either come into the Community Development Office, which is in the front lobby of Urbana City Hall at 400 South Vine Street, which is across from Common Ground Co-op at Lincoln Square, or also they could call me at 217-328-8270. That's my direct line, or 217-384-2444, which is the Community Development Office. And all our numbers and emails, all the staff at Community Development are available online at urbanaillinois.us.
Wonderful. It's a pleasure to speak with you today about all these new businesses opening in Urbana and expanding in Urbana, and we'll have to have you back on again to do another update.
Yeah, I didn't even make it through my list.
Later on this year. Well, we'll have to keep going on that list next time. So thank you for joining us today.
One, two, three, four. I'm heading on down to the market Saturday morning. I'm heading on down to the market Saturday morning. All your farmer friends are there at the market at the square. I'm heading on down to the market Saturday morning.
It's All About You is back with Brad Bennett from the Urbana Public Works Department. Hi, Brad. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me, Natalie.
So first of all, Brad, tell us a little bit about the role that you play in the Urbana Public Works Department.
I'm an assistant city engineer, and I co-manage the engineering division with Craig Schonkweiler. My areas of responsibility are what we call D&D, which when I was a kid meant Dungeons and Dragons, but now it means drainage and development. So I handle the sewer-related stuff, land development issues, and some miscellaneous environmental stuff like our old abandoned landfill. And then Craig Schonkweiler, who, like I said, co-manages with us, he takes care of a lot of the transportation stuff.
So what's more fun, Dungeons and Dragons or drainage and
I'd say
development?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, okay. All right. But there are some fun things happening right now.
There's exciting things happening right now.
Like the Boneyard Creek Improvements Project.
Yeah, big project, $10 million total cost by the time you add in all the engineering and construction. Active construction site, I encourage people to come out. Race Street is a great viewing point for it. You can stand on either side of the bridge and see a lot of the impressive construction work that's gone on. But we're making great progress on it. We're excited about the amenity we're going to provide in the end.
Right. When can we expect the project to be complete?
It'll be what we call substantially complete, the end of August. That's when all the walls should be done, the sidewalks in place, the bridge done. Most of the plants will be installed. We might have a few landscaping items that we kind of work in the fall and maybe even till next spring. But it should be substantially complete by the end of August 2014.
That sounds excellent, and I know I've enjoyed seeing some of this come to fruition through the Flickr page that the city maintains for this project.
Yeah, and I have to give a lot of that credit to Beth Reinke, who's our engineering tech on site. She is just well documented with photos the entire project from start to finish. So I encourage people to go on the website, and you can see everything from when they tore down the old bridge to what the new bridge looks like. You can see all the wall construction. You can see the public art components. You can start to see some of the landscaping that they're starting to install now. So it's real exciting and well documented, probably more than any project I've ever done.
And the walls are very unique. There's been an artist working with you guys to put the art up along the walls of the Boneyard Creek.
Yeah, we have a public art component. We have Jack Mackey, who's what they call a public artist from Seattle, Washington. So we kind of have a world-famous artist that's working for us on the project. But he incorporated public art into some of the wall surfaces. There's some sedge seed that were actually poured into the wall, so there's a unique pattern that highlights the sedge seed. And there's also springtail, which is a little microbe that lives in the prairie soils that breaks down organic matter. It kind of looks like a shrimp. A lot of people think we're putting shrimp up on the wall, but it's actually called the springtail. And you can see those on the walls right now. They're real visible. Another thing that happened within the last 2 weeks is there's some colored tile along what we call wall number 2 that's at 208 West Grigg Street. And you can actually see there the green grass stems with the yellow, orange, and brown seed heads on it. So it's a nice splash of color on the project. I encourage people to take a look at it. And we've also got these stone markers in along Broadway Avenue. There's 2 big quarried stone, they're a limestone type material that have a picture of a diatom, which is a little microscopic bug that lives in the water, sandblasted into it in the words Boneyard Creek, that you should be able to see off of Broadway Avenue. And then finally, as we get the creek edge in, which we don't have in yet, there'll be stones that actually have more of those diatoms sandblasted in it to provide some interesting patterns along the creek edge.
It all sounds fabulous, and I look forward to it. The completion, well, the first part of the completion of the project in August, so we can actually walk down and see all of this, right?
Yeah, you'll actually be able to get down and cross the stream, and it'll be real neat. It's going to kind of be more of a park-like atmosphere on the south side. You know, there'll be turf grass, shade trees. You can have your picnic lunch or just lounge out and read a book on the south side under a nice shade tree. The north side will be a little bit more native vegetation, which will hopefully encourage, the groundhogs, the ducks and stuff to come and recreate so that people can see them.
That all sounds wonderful. And if we have folks that want to have an update on this, you send out a monthly or weekly email? Monthly, right?
Yeah, it's monthly.
Okay.
And it's a blind email that we blast out. It's usually just a page long with 2 or 3 pages of pictures of work that occurred. So if anyone's interested, they can contact me. My email is bmbennett@urbanaillinois.us, and we'll be glad to put you on that list. We also post those reports on the project website. So if you go to the city webpage under Government Public Works Projects, you can access and get those reports as well as all our pictures and every documentation from the site. There's even a 3D model of what the finished improvements will look like.
Wonderful.
That people can view.
Well, I appreciate you coming on
Well,
today
thank you so
and filling
much.
us in on the Boneyard Creek Improvements Project, and look forward to heading out there and checking it out over the next couple of months.
Bicyclists must always ride with traffic and never against it. Motorists do not expect to see bicyclists riding towards them and therefore are not on the lookout for them, especially at intersections. Both bicyclists and motorists have less time to react when bicyclists go against the flow of traffic.
Corky Emberson is our guest on It's All About You. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And you're with the Urbana Park District.
Yes, ma'am.
And what role do you play over at the Urbana Park District?
I'm the superintendent of recreation, so I oversee all the recreation programs and facilities and make sure that we provide good experiences for our community.
And I think you do a wonderful job at that. I know I enjoy many of the programs and services offered by the Park District, and so do my kids. And
excellent. Thank you.
I know that with the summertime, you're probably very busy. Are there any programs or events that we should be sure to mark our calendar for as we move into the summer?
Absolutely. We're very busy. Actually,
Right.
today we just finished a staff training for all of our summer staff employees. But some of the activities that are must do, I believe, are we get at high ranks for our summer camps.
Right.
And since school's getting out a little later due to our cold winter days, those will actually start the week of June 5th,
Okay.
which is a little 2-day session, and then we'll start in full swing the next week. So definitely the camps. We also have some special events that are very popular. Our neighborhood nights. They actually begin the week of May 28th and carry all the way through the summer at different parks. We can get you that information later on. Also, we have a jazz walk in late part of the summer, early fall in September, and we have a strawberry jam event that's on June 14th.
Excellent. And there was just a folk and roots walk that happened, right? It's
Absolutely.
A little
It was
cooler that
a little
night.
chilly. I wasn't the most famous guy in the world on that day for continuing to do the event in the cold, but we had a great attendance, and people seemed to really enjoy it. So we'll be doing that one again next year.
That's excellent. And is there a website that we can go to learn more about either how to register for some of these camps, or do folks need to register for some of the events that you have throughout the summer?
Absolutely. You can go to www.urbanaparks.org, and there you can read about the programs that are happening this summer, or programs there. And also now we have online registration that started in January, so those programs you can sign up for online, or you can come into the Phillips Recreation Center or you can call 367-1544.
So many different ways to get registered to participate in these programs
Yes.
throughout the summer. And just kind of a question for fun, there's so many different things that the Urbana Park District offers, and I know quite a few are major attractions in the Urbana-Champaign community, but if you would have an Urbana Park District bucket list, as in what are a few things that folks can't miss, that they have to go to or check out that's offered by the Urbana Park District, what would those be?
Well, everything, of course.
Right.
But if I was going to point out a couple, we're starting our first year at Crystal Lake Park Family Aquatic Center. It's going to be the first full summer, and we won an award for outstanding facility through Illinois Parks and Rec Association.
And
so
it is an outstanding facility.
It's a gorgeous facility and definitely a sight to see, and everybody loves our neighborhood nights. They are spectacular. They're free. We serve lemonade and popcorn and have other service groups there offering information. So
Right.
I definitely hit those
That sounds
if I had to pick a couple.
All right, that sounds good. Just a couple, but there's so much more, and
There's-
your
there-
website does a great job.
Everything, of course, I'm biased, but I think everything's fantastic. And we work hard to make sure that the community has lots of good things.
And you do a great job at that. Thank you so much for coming on
Thank you.
today.
Nice
It's been
to
a
meet you.
pleasure, and
Yep.
we'll have you come back on later on in the fall to talk about some of your fall and winter programming.
Fabulous. I'd love to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One, two, three, four. I'm heading on down to the market Saturday morning. I'm heading on down to the market Saturday morning. All your farmer friends are there at the market at the square. I'm heading on down to the market Saturday morning.
We're back with It's All About You. I'm here now with Superintendent of Urbana School District, Dr. Don Owen. Thank you for joining us today.
You bet. Thank you.
So the school year is winding down, and you're finishing your first year as superintendent with Urbana Schools. How has the year gone?
Well, it's been a very exciting year. It's really been outstanding for many reasons. Not just because of the cold days. We're going longer than we ever have.
Right.
But it's been a lot of fun for me as superintendent, seeing all the great things that students are doing, and I've been really excited about seeing both the curricular and extracurricular activities that our students are involved in.
And Urbana School District students are amazing. They're very accomplished. Can you tell us about some of the highlights from the students this past year?
Sure, there's so many, but I'll try and hit on a couple that stand out to me. One is right now, as I came into the City Hall, the Prairie students have their Artist in a Quarter up, and I believe that's up all summer. So if you want to see some great elementary school artwork, they have a really neat display out there right now. As do the arts seem to be kind of a highlight right now for many of our schools. Wiley and Yankee Ridge are both putting on musicals. Yankee Ridge's third grade is putting on The Lion King, and Wiley has their annual fifth grade musical this year, and it's a great way to end the year. They capped off a week of their fifth graders spent at Krannert Center for the Performing Arts. That was very exciting. So they kind of got all prepped for what it's like to put on a stage production on the Krannert stage, and that was great. There's so many things going on. I guess one of the other things isn't art related, but Thomas Paine students raised over $2,600 for a school in Senegal in honor of some volunteers who have been working with the Thomas Paine students for years, and the students wanted to pay back. And so these volunteers said, well, let's pay that forward. And that really fits in with one of our character traits that we've been focusing on this school year, which is compassion.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the character traits? I've learned a little bit about the character traits and the different traits that you've highlighted in the different schools, but can you expand on that a little more?
You bet. The character traits actually came out of our strategic plan from a couple of years ago, and they're really embedded in the community. The community helped us decide what character traits we as a school district would really value and impart to our students, and those include respect and responsibility, which are, of course, visible in all of our schools all the time as part of our just expectations. But then they also include compassion, cooperation, integrity, and perseverance. And so most of the schools have a character trait of the month where they focus on each of those traits and they really talk about what it means to exemplify those traits. And even kindergartners learn what the word perseverance means. And not giving up is something that's really important. And we all kind of look at those traits as kind of our guiding force in terms of how we work well with others.
So this goes all the way from kindergarten through 12th? All
the way kindergarten through 12th. And in fact, Gerber School, which is our school out at Cunningham Children's Home, just put up a mural this year that they kind of redid their entire logo and they focused on the character traits, which is a very cool mural. They incorporated their logo and our character traits all together in one.
That's fantastic. And do each of the schools kind of celebrate this or teach this in their own ways?
Yeah, they really do. And all of the schools have what are called community meetings, all the elementary schools, where they kind of highlight the traits and they celebrate students who are exemplifying those traits. King School earlier this year had a great grant that they got that helped them celebrate Arbor Day. They had every student in the school planting in their courtyard. And so every student worked together through cooperation to create a courtyard space that they truly own, that they care for, that is part of them and their school. And that's just one example of how that gets celebrated.
That's fantastic, and it's great that the kids are learning this and they're thinking about it in the school and then they're taking that out into the community.
Right.
And that's fantastic. As we're wrapping up, is there anything you'd like to add as you wind down from this current school year and then move into summer break?
Well, it's a lot of fun. This time of year is great because it's full of celebrations of student achievements, and I've been honored this year to meet some of the students at our high school we had one group of students win the Social Justice Bridge Award from the American Education Research Association, AERA, which for this community means a lot because AERA awards usually go to university professors or graduate students, and we had a group of high school students in collaboration with the university win the Social Justice Bridge Award for their work in issues of youth research and bettering the school. And then we also had a group of high school students for the first time this year go to Mississippi as part of a Habitat for Humanity club that they just got off the ground. And so again, exemplifying some of those character traits, in ways outside of the school and going beyond the school reach.
For sure, that's amazing. I didn't know all of these things that were happening, and I appreciate you coming on today and talking to us about it. And we'd love to have you back and others from the school district to continue to inform us about.
You bet. Next time I'll bring some students with me.
That would be great.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And we appreciate all that you do at the Urbana School District.
Thank you.
For more information on the City of Urbana, you can visit their website at urbanaillinois.us. From there, you can watch this program on demand and download our audio podcasts. We appreciate you tuning in today and hope you'll join us again. And remember, it's all about you.